I really feel like I just got those Tokyo 5s. Is Nike really bringing out a retro? What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today in a very special weekly heat, we're unboxing some sneakers. We're talking about the possibility of one of my favorite shoes going down very dramatically in value, and also talking about some really cool new releases, so make sure to stay tuned. So like I mentioned, this weekly heat is a little bit different than most of the other weekly heats in that we're going to be unboxing some sneakers. And the reason I'm doing it in this week's weekly heat is because I didn't have any unboxing videos coming up and I didn't want to push these shoes until then. So I figured now would be the best time to give you guys a little bit more value for your free watch time, I guess. And also it'll allow me to unbox these sneakers sooner so I could start wearing them sooner. So as you can tell from the outside of the box, both of these shoes are from Puma. Let's start with this one on the top. This is the Puma Ralph Sampson Low WH. Not sure what WH stands for, but let's find out. So inside the box, you've got your nice white paper, and then pulling out the shoes, we have got, a very nice Puma Ralph Sampson. So while I didn't know these shoes were coming, I did actually see Jacob Starr unbox these on Instagram, so I have some idea as to what they are. And apparently these shoes are promoting world unity. I'm not sure if there's a certain organization or what the deal is with that, but the idea behind this colorway is that it incorporates the colors from a bunch of different flags around the world and puts them on one sneaker. And I think even though you've got a ton of different colors sort of hidden throughout the shoe, it's still a very, very clean look. Along the sides of the shoe, you've got some white leather, you've got that gold Ralph Sampson text, you've got some gray suedes, which feel really nice to the touch. You've also got hits of green, black, blue, and red, and then a little bit of yellow on the tongue, which sort of adds a nice pop, which you guys might have actually missed because the tongue sort of falls into the sneaker if you're not wearing it. But that is a really quick overview of this Ralph Sampson, which I think is available now, so if you guys want to grab it, it should be available on puma.com. And then on the inside of the shoe, it actually says something that looks like German. It says Auf allen 5 Kontinenten. I don't know German, but I'm sure someone in the comment section will let me know what that means. So if you know, leave that comment. But now on to the next pair. We've also got a pair of Pumas. This is the Puma RSX3 WH. Again, white paper on the top, very nice. And then the shoe itself, let's see, oh, this is actually fire. This is actually really, really clean. So this is the Puma RSX3, I think, or it's got like a little 3 above the X, so I'm assuming it's the Puma RSX3. It looks like it's also made for the same fund or project, World Unity, probably Auf allen 5 Kontinenten, I would assume. But this is a really clean pair of sneakers. It comes in primarily white, black, gray, and then you've got some nice hits of red and yellow and blue around the sneaker. And this silhouette in general is super, super clean. This definitely seems like an updated RSX. And I think it actually feels a lot more sleek. It's got the same RSX midsole, it looks like. You've got a nice multicolored outsole right there on the bottom, the RS, which stands for Running System logo right there. And then you've got an interesting gum outsole that kind of intermingles, is that the right phrase, with the rest of the colors on the outsole. It's a clean look, man. One of my favorite details on the shoe is this yellow stitching along the top of the Puma logo right there. I really think it adds a nice pop of color. I think Puma knocked it out of the park with this one. I feel like the colorway and the silhouette go really well together. I mean, that was the same case with the Ralph Sampsons as well, but huge thank you to Puma for sending these over. I am definitely into these. But now on to the news. Starting things off, it looks like we have 2 new colors of the Space Hippie 4. But only the Space Hippie 4. We've got a red and Volt colorway, which is fine, and then we've got a tan and blue colorway, which by far is my favorite of all the colorways. This shoe looks like astronauts wear it, dope astronauts, like hype astronauts, and I want to be one of those astronauts. Now the Space Hippie 4 isn't my favorite silhouette out of the group. In fact, it's probably my least favorite, but I still think it's a cool sneaker. It's still recycled, and if this colorway is only releasing on the Space Hippie 4, then I might have to pull the trigger. If I can, because these shoes keep selling out. I can't seem to buy any. The red and Volt version of the shoe is pretty self-explanatory. It looks like it comes in primarily a red upper with a gray accent on the medial side, as well as a Volt Nike swoosh, and overall, it's fine. It's not something I would buy personally, but if you missed out on these shoes and you're willing to buy any colorway of them, then this is a good way to go. However, the tan and blue colorway comes in, you guessed it, tan and blue. The upper of the shoe comes in sort of a light khaki tan, accented by a dark navy Nike swoosh, as well as a light blue midsole. As you can see, the midsole comes with some Nike grind, which apparently is ground up Nike soles, whether it's used or whether it was unused midsoles, and they're put into the mix of the EVA foam that makes up the midsole. This shoe is dope, I love it, I really want a pair of these, these, but I've gone for both Space Hippie drops so far and I've struck out. So I have a feeling that whether this drops with the other Space Hippie sneakers or on its own, I'm not going to have much luck. After that, we've got a much better look at the alternate Bel Air 5s, which I've got to say might be one of my sneakers of the year. 2020, while it's been filled with pretty much absolute crap, it's still the year of the Air Jordan 5s, and I love Jordan 5s, so there has been some good things to come out of this kind of crappy year. And the alternate Air Jordan 5 Bel Airs are one of my favorite Air Jordan 5 colorways to release all year. I think they look incredible. Some of you guys might have seen my unboxing from a couple weeks ago where I unboxed the Air Jordan 5 Bel Airs, the ones that came out in 2013, and I had a special connection to those pairs because I waited in line for them and I still couldn't get them. In fact, I think it was my last real overnight campout. And while the pain from that has subsided because now 7 years later I have a pair of Bel Air 5s, I'm still gonna need a pair of the alternates because it's just such a dope shoe. The concept of the colorway is pretty similar to the original Bel Air 5s, however the biggest difference between the two shoes is that the originals came in a gray upper and the new versions are coming in a white upper. The new 2020 alternate Bel Air 5s still feature a purple midsole accented by a neon green outsole, and of course you can't forget the alternating details throughout like the shark teeth, the 23, and the Jumpman on the heel. It's a really dope shoe, it's definitely up there for me, and while it might not be a double up, it's definitely a must-have. The Air Jordan 5 alternate Bel Airs are set to release on August 15th for a retail price of $200. I know we just talked about this sneaker last week, but we now have updated images courtesy of Z Sneakerhead Z of the Air Jordan 1 Dark Mochas. And annoyingly, the more that I look at this shoe, the more that I want it, which I really hate when that happens because it makes me spend way too much money. While we already knew the color blocking of this shoe, it looks like we now have a good idea of what the materials are actually going to be like. And it looks like the heel of the shoe that comes in brown is actually coming in the same suede that the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s came in. It was decent quality suede, it definitely wasn't incredible, so you can't expect these to be incredible either, but I still think that brown suede is a nice touch. The rest of the upper looks to come in leather. You've got both black panels and white panels, and overall it looks like a pretty high quality Air Jordan 1, and one that I am very excited for. From what I can tell, release information on this shoe is not set in stone yet, but it does look like it has a tentative release date of November 21st for a retail price of $170. It looks like we've actually got a new release coming out which we didn't know about before in the way of the PSG Air Jordan 4s. PSG stands for Paris Saint-Germain, I believe that's how you pronounce it, not 100% sure, which is the football team based in Paris. Remember, fellow American friends, soccer in the rest of the world is known as football, and football is known as American football. This PSG Jordan brand collaboration is super dope. I'm actually really into it. The shoe comes in what almost seems like a modified version of the Fire Red 4s, except rather than using red, it uses maroon, which is one of my favorite colors. And man, that maroon with the black and the white is just such a nice look, and apparently the box is even maroon as well, which I'm also kind of excited for. Of course, on the heel, instead of your standard Jumpman, you've got the modified PSG Air Jordan logo, which I think also looks great. If you're looking to grab a pair of the PSG Air Jordan 4s for yourself, the tentative release date as of right now is September 1st for a retail price of $225. Sneaker retailer Size has apparently leaked images of what appears to be a Nike Dunk Low in a Chicago colorway. And as popular as the Chicago 1s are right now, and as popular as Nike Dunk Low SBs are right now, this shoe is definitely going to sell insanely fast. The images do pretty much show the entire shoe, so you have a great idea of what this sneaker is going to look like, and based on the images, it kind of looks a lot like an Air Jordan 1 Low. Colorway wise, the only real difference is the black heel tab on the Nike Dunk Low SBs instead of the red heel tab on the Air Jordan 1 Lows. After the release of the Last Dance documentary and just the insane popularity of all things Jordan, I can't see a better time for this sneaker to be releasing. Although Size leaked the images of the shoe early, they unfortunately did not leak the release date, or I guess the price for that matter, but it's most likely going to be a $90 sneaker. The one thing I can say though is that because the images are loaded on the site, it's very likely that the shoe will drop in the very, very near future. So if you want a pair of the Chicago Nike Dunk Low SBs, make sure to keep an eye out because they probably will drop out of nowhere. After that, we've got images of the Nike Adapt BB 2.0 in a black mag colorway, which I've got to say is super clean. Last year we saw a mag version of the Nike Adapt BB that came in the same colorway as the original Nike mags, which was gray and blue, but this time around it looks like the second iteration of the shoe is coming in black with a similar color scheme. Even though the shoe is coming in black, you've still got the blue splatter print on the heel, and you've got the red, green, and yellow lights for some reason on the toe, which is interesting. Not sure if they're actually lights or just painted. I haven't gotten a good chance to look at the picture yet, but it's an alright looking sneaker, not exactly my thing, and to be honest with you, I actually got rid of all my self-lacing sneakers. Not because I didn't like them, but because I just never wore them. You know, as hard as Nike is pushing auto-lacing sneakers, regular laces are still just easier. As of right now, there is no official release date on the Nike Adapt BB 2.0 in the black mag colorway, but because we're seeing official images, I would assume that this shoe is coming soon. Yesterday, Nike officially announced the brand new Nike Zoom Freak 2, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo's signature sneaker. As you probably already guessed, the shoe is an updated take on the Zoom Freak 1, however it does kind of look a lot more similar to the PG one than the Zoom Freak one. The Zoom Freak 2 apparently features small performance improvements, and I looked on their website and I read about them. There's nothing too crazy, or at least nothing that seems that crazy from just reading online. It's possible when you actually step into the shoe, it's like this mind-blowing experience, but kind of doubt it. If you are, however, a huge Giannis fan or you just love the Nike Zoom Freak 1, this might be a sneaker for you, and they first release on July 25th in a very limited quantity in the Nyjah colorway. After that, we've got kind of a weird story with Nike announcing the brand new The Dunked silhouette, which is an exaggerated version of the Nike Dunk Low. By exaggerated, I mean that this shoe kind of looks like a caricature of the original Nike Dunk Low, which in some ways I guess is a good thing, and in other ways, it just emphasizes parts of the shoe that just don't look good. The sneaker itself looks like it's had parts of the shoe, like the midsole, expanded in certain portions and made to look a little bit more blocky. And to be honest with you, it looks like a much more feminine version of the Nike Dunk. Maybe that's my own personal opinion, but it kind of looks like it has a platform sole. Aesthetically, it's not bad, I don't mind it, and it's probably a shoe I will try and pick up just for a review, but is it something that I will wear every day? Absolutely not. Also, another detail of the shoe that I'm not a huge fan of is that they changed out the leather paneling on the side of the shoe for nylon or canvas. I'm not exactly sure what it is. In my opinion, that kind of cheapens the shoe, and while it gives it a more sporty look, it just makes me not like it as much as I like the original Dunk. The Nike The Dunked seems to be coming first in a frost white colorway with a semi-translucent blue outsole, and it looks like the release date is going to be sometime in the fall. Then we've got some leaked information about what appears to be a Nike Sacai collaboration in the way of two different colorways of a blazer low. Aesthetically, the collaboration still seems to be following the same design language of mashing two different silhouettes together, and this Sacai Nike blazer low collaboration kind of just looks like the standard Sacai Nike blazer except with the top chopped off. I feel like this is one of those cases where when I actually see this sneaker, I'll start to like it a lot more, but just looking at these leaked images, I'm not really a fan. Currently, there is no release information on these two shoes other than the fact that they're supposed to cost 120 bucks, but that's about it. So I may have been a little bit ahead of myself when I said that the Tokyo 5s were going to drop in value because there's a retro of the shoe coming out in the near future. And the reason I say that is because the leaked images appear to be of a What the Air Jordan 5 that feature a Tokyo heel portion. And when I say a What the Air Jordan 5, I don't mean like some top 3 crap that they've been doing. I mean they literally took some of their most popular colorways from the past and mashed them together into a crazy looking sneaker that reminds me a lot of 2010. Based on leaked images, this shoe features details from a ton of different Grail Air Jordan 5s. Obviously, you've got the Tokyo 5s, you've got the Bel Air 5s, you've got a ton of other sneakers that people have been drooling over for years, and they're all on this pair of Air Jordan 5s. Until we see better images of this shoe, there's not really much else to say about this sneaker other than this could be one of the most exciting sneakers of the entire year. I'm a huge What the fan. I know there's a ton of people out there who love actual What the sneakers, and this has the potential to be sneaker of the year, at least for retro heads. According to SHOF or SHOF, I'm not totally sure how to pronounce it, this shoe potentially could release on November 7th, 2020, which is a lot closer than I think a lot of us expected. If the Air Jordan 5 What Thes do end up releasing on November 7th, expect them to be insanely limited and very difficult to get, and it's definitely a shoe which I'm gonna have to at least try to pick up. And then finally, rounding off the video for today with, I don't remember what I called it last week, but I'm assuming it's something like weekend sneaker releases, weekend sneaker roundups. We've got that segment of the video. Weekend sneaker something. This is a segment of Weekly Heat where I talk about all the important releases this weekend, and unfortunately this weekend is somewhat dry except for a pair of Yeezys. On Saturday, July 18th, we finally got the release of the Adidas Yeezy 350 V2 Zion. This is a shoe that I reviewed a little while back, so if you guys would like to check out that video, there'll be a link at the top of the screen. It was also pushed back a couple months, and it seems like we're finally getting the shoe for real tomorrow. I'm actually also thinking about going live when the shoe releases to do kind of a sneaker release live stream, so if you guys want to see that, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. But the way this shoe looks is pretty self-explanatory. It's a tan and brown Yeezy. It looks really good in person, and if you're trying to grab a pair of these, be quick because they definitely will sell out. But that pretty much wraps up Weekly Heat for this week. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of all of the stories that we covered in today's video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.